I've explained the concept of support and resistance, how you know your support and how you know your resistance level. So where we stopped
So
was
it has broken the current resistance level.
yes, yes. So yeah, let me just zoom in a
So
bit so you
that
can.
resistance now turns to support based
Yeah,
on how I'm looking at things, or it might
mm,
just come down.
yeah. Well, this is very good. I'm glad that we use this chart so that it's not that I'll go and look for a chart that everything work out well. Then you now come and tell me that the thing did not work out in your own setup. We're on the live market now, so anything you see that is going to happen now, we'll make the decision. Okay, you can see this last candle here. You can see this a live candle. Oh. If you
Yeah.
are, just watch it closely, you see it going up and going down. It has been playing. You can see that not even past this level. See, people are trying to sell, but it's not going down. You can see this long wick. This long wick means that buyers are actually still trying to buy into value because of this pullback that happened here. You know,
Wait, I just how do you know so much about weeks?
how do I know?
Weeks. You said you mentioning weeks for no. Me, I don't know you can.
Okay,
You
how do I
mentioned
know so much about
you
wicks?
mentioned yeah. I need to like where do you get the ring about maybe the website?
Okay, it's just I'm looking at it more of a from the psychological perspective, like the psychology of the market. Okay, I'm not looking at it at a okay market structure because these weeks you can't discard them. They also speak a lot. They also tells us it also tells us a lot about what happened in the market. Okay, so let us say this let's say this green one now, this very green one, this is where my cursor is, right? This green one is a
Yeah.
full bull market, 100% buy sentiment because there's no week. It just opened there and
There's
closed
no
there.
week.
There's nobody sold in this market. That means the market was very strong. People were just buying the stock. But now let's go to another this bull one where my cursor is now. This one that has the week that it went up, then it now came down because of this resistance level. You can see as people try to
Yeah.
buy the market, it went up, then people now sold. That is why this week is here. So when people sell, you can use and say, okay, this week's, they tell you that people are actually selling at this level. That's why I say I drew this line here. I'm using mainly weeks, where the market close might not really always matter. Is where the week is. That's where they even say all-time high. That's where people record their all-time high, where the last week was, not where the market closed. So when the market goes and
Yeah.
come down, you know that people actually sold some or the market pull back a bit. Anyone you want to use, but you know that this week will tell you that people sold the market. Even that's why I was telling you this about that blue line last time. That this our long week here, where my cursor is, this tiny red one here. Okay. Why it went up like this? This tells you that people actually bought at this level and the market went up very aggressive. And even on the next candle set, you can see that people try to sell again. Okay, people still bought again. That is just what the week tells you. Where people are buying, where people are selling. So you just use that one as your psychology. You can see the market night has broken this our line. It's going down again. So, but this one now you don't have to panic because if you are a trader, you might have to take out your position. But if you're an investor, you just wait till the market close and see what happens. Okay. So you can see people are now buying at this level. Just you can still be observant, just be looking at how this last market is working. Okay, so yeah, uh, do you still have any more questions so I can just go to the topic of the day?
Just continue, you can continue.
All right, so now we discussed last time we were trying to show. I was showing you where this our last place. Let me draw this thing here. Let me see. Hope I'll be fast enough so this thing will not end. Okay, so this place, this was where we drew our before this, where I'm drawing this circle now. Trust
Yeah.
us. Yeah. So that is where we stopped
Yes.
in our last class. Let me make the circle a bit thick so that you can. Mhm. So this was where we said the indecisive markets. You can see how market moved. The next day, it's pulled back a bit. Then people now bought at this level. Okay. You know, sometimes when you're even drawing support and resistance, if you put your this cross arrow that is here and you just look at what happened in the past, you see that actually some people are actually buying at some former prices. Let me just put small line here. This one is a very thin blue line. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see it, but if you see, it corresponds to this where
I
people
can
bought
see it. I
now.
can see it.
You can see it here. This tiny blue line I just put now. This tiny blue line corresponds to this our
I can
support
see it.
level
I can
here.
see it.
You can see support. It corresponds to the support level here. That's why people, as the thing pulled back, it not pass here. People just bought immediately, and market went up. It now came to this our orange line and came back because of all what have been happening here. Anytime market comes to this orange line here, it always
Just
goes
follow
down.
back.
Yeah, it always pulls back. So then it came back again, but buyers were still strong in the market. The next day again, you can see this very strong bull candle that even broke out this orange candle, sorry, orange line, and then went up to this our very strong resistance level. You can see this level. Let me draw another, put another line there. Tiny line. If you can see any tiny line there, then just know that that one is, I just put it down.
Yes.
Where I just adjusted. You can see is also corresponding to this resistance here. So support and resistance tells you what buyers are thinking. It's a psychology thing. It's not even about um it's more psychology than just lines. That's why it's very, very important when you're trading the stock markets, you know, okay, what price can I buy so that even when the market goes down as an investor, you know that market will not pass this price. It builds your confidence. And again, when you add fundamentally strong stock markets to your setup, you can just trade and go and sleep. You don't have any problem. Okay, let me remove this line that I put here, so I don't confuse you. All right, so from here the market went, and you can see it came back to this our orange line again, and it went back up again. It's not going down again. It broke again. It broke this our all-time high, this place, which actually indicates that the market is becoming strong. When it went here, people sold. People that bought around this our circle side, where we drew the circle now. Maybe they have made like 20% or 30% from this um market action or performance. So they sold there. And now when people sold, you can see that people are buying on this level. That is why you can see this our live candle that is here. The price is still dancing around here. It has not yet gone down because people are putting their position here. Let's say today now, after today, depending on the strength of the of buyers in the market, this can actually shoot up again and continue on another uptrend. So basically, we watch. But as an investor, when you see these breakouts, you place your bets in the last resistance level to see how the market performs from there. Okay. And again, it can also tell you if the market doesn't really go well, then you start asking yourself, why is it that the market went sideways? Then you can go and check news, all those kind of things. But aside from that, once you're in fundamentally strong stocks, then you don't have any issue. Once you know those fundamentals, like you said, this stock is going to give me this percentage of return based on the good and strong foundation, or what they call those thing, management. Yeah, the good management the company has and all that, all the leadership, how they operate and all that, cash flow and all that. You don't have any problem. You see, banking sectors don't have issue because there's always cash flow, and they are also banking sector is a this defensive sector. Defensive sectors, just like how you have gold. Gold, when you trade gold is a defensive FX, or a defensive market. People put their money in gold because the upside is more than the downside. So if inflation comes, doesn't affect the gold market. That is how the banking sector is. Okay. So that is just that for the fundamentals. So this is basically That's I wanted to show you how to draw support and resistance line today. So how I do it, even though I've done it in my videos, I can just show you live, you know, based on decision making, and etc. Can we move forward?
Yeah, come.
All right. So what I do, I'll just remove all these lines now. Let me let me remove everything here. I can see. Okay, let me just use manual clinical. So we'll just delete all these lines now. This is how I draw my support and resistance line. I first, since I'm using investdata.com, I just go to this. I use these lines to help me cash the best price. Interestingly, these
So you use
lines here,
on
yes, I use this they call it area here. That's what they call it here, but I'll just call it lines so that we can be on the same page. So I use these lines to catch the best, um, the most precise spots so I can use to make my decision before even bringing candlestick and then maybe adjusting it based on the wick of the candle. Okay. So starting from here, what I even do sometimes, I just zoom out a bit to see what is the overall market structure. You can see it's an uptrend from here. Then it came to this place and started consolidating. Yeah, you can see from this place, started consolidating from here. Then you can see this breakout that happened here,
I can
which
see.
means another uptrend might happen here. But this is from here, this line where my cursor is to this place was a good uptrend here. Then it broke down and started consolidating before this breakout here. So looking at that, I understand what the market is doing at the moment. Then I just zoom out and then start drawing my lines. Okay. So I'll start here. Looking at these two spots, this is 1, 2, is even more than 2, but just looking at the lines, so far as the line correlate with each other, I put my line here. Let me make it thicker so I can see. Let me make it thicker. So you can see that line, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
You can see where the line is. I've put my first line here in this market. Sometimes you can enter some markets, you not even see any support and resistance, and you're just going on an uptrend. Those kind of markets now, you just mainly use indicators to actually determine your next entry points. I can show you that later on. But this place now, you can see that this place is not really, there's nothing happened. There's nothing here to support it. So we can't really say this is a support level. It just looks like an uptrend here. So if you come here, you can still see this place is not really that strong or support level. But if you bring up the candlestick, we might see that it was actually support level. But looking at this, I will not put my line there. I'll just go to another place. Look at this place. Look at where I'll put another line now. This is a very good resistance level. You can see it touched here, came down.
Yeah, Kuso.
Uh, yeah. Even when it came here, sir, but it did not really um it not really go up like that. Just came here, then it went down again, then it touched here again. Just touching these 2 points now.
Nearly breakout.
Yeah, before this breakout self, even looking at this
Yeah,
our line here, you can see it touched here again before it now broke out again. Okay, just looking at this 1, 2, 3 spots does makes will give you a confidence that this is a very strong resistance zone and can also be a very strong support zone. Okay, if you have a strong resistance zone, it's also be a very strong support zone when the price breaks out. So that is the logic, that's the concept behind support and resistance. So we only have two lines here. If I want to be a bit biased, I might just put one line. Okay, one line can actually come here because of this. You can see where my cursor is. This level here, this very small before it went up again. It also correlates with this place before it goes up. Let me show you again. You can see this place, this very small, like V shape side, you know, is it correlates with this our, which means this could be a good support level. Okay, so we only have three lines. Okay, so what I'll now do next is I will now bring up my candlestick to see how they are, how far, how are we doing? You can see that where we draw our first line, this place here is correct because this is a resistance level before it now broke out. Okay. And this was this, you can see that why I said this thing actually does happen at the close. It just touches the close, like these lines where you see the line like where it stops is also is where the market actually closed. It's not showing anything about weeks or highs or lows. Just they are focusing on where the price actually closed. That's why when you come to this place, you see that this place is where the price closed. The same thing that happened there. You can see this resistance level. You can see it resisted before it broke out again. You can see again these two candles here, resistance. It came down small, then it broke out. Then it came here again, uh, resisted, but it did not pass this level. It just stayed there. Price just maintained its level here. Then it went out again. You can see when the price went to our green strong candle, it did not pass again. It just stopped there and it came down again. It came here, it bounced back up. It tried to pass, but now this is where you now bring in the week. And I'll put another, I want to put another line here and show you something. This is now where we now bring in the week. Week, I don't know whether I should call it weak psychology or weak, I don't know which word I should use, but do you understand what I'm saying? Hello?
I get what
Yeah, so this is where we now bring in the week. You can see
I
this
get
long week here.
what
That
you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you can see this long week. This is where I put a blue line. Why the market came down again? Because of people's psychology. They know that this is the all-time high, which is 28 naira. Sorry. Yes, 28, that is the high. 28 is the high. The market closed at 27.45. So this is the all-time high. People know that this is the all-time high. And then people took profit from there. And since it not passed, this will not lead to a panic. Smart investors to profit. Why those that maybe took hard positions here, they said the market just came down. This one led to a little panic. Then you can see price came here around this level. I will just bring this one a bit down because it correlates with this, what happened here. It came here and bounced back up. Still, this our resistance level. You can see between this blue and brown line, it's like a resistance zone. So if price breaks, it goes up, like breaks and pass the all-time high, the market is becoming strong. Okay. So, but if price stays within this line,
Yeah.
we can see that this is still market is still resisting. It's still resisting. But if it like how it broke out here and then went up. Okay. So it's going, came down, and then this our level that we stopped that time. This our indecisive candle where we said the market is indecisive and it will lead to a reversal because this is a strong support
Yeah.
level. So this is going up again, and then this is now today's candle that is people are selling, and why people are selling is because people that bought here are now selling here, and this will be opportunity for other people to buy into value. So let me just say maybe people might start putting their price around here. Let me put another line around here. Let me see how much, which price is this? I'm not even saying. Coming. I don't even know which price. I just put this thing now. Okay, it will. Yes. Uh-huh. Wait, just give me. I want to see where I put this price. I think that is 27 naira also. 27.10.
Wait,
Okay.
the price is not showing on the board.
Yeah, I'm just trying
It's
to look
20,
at where
is
I
it the
put this.
that last blue line?
Yeah, that I put. Yes, I think it's 27.10 that is there. So that is where I'm
Yeah,
saying I'm putting.
2710.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting. That's why I'm placing my bet that people will put. So if I want to invest in this market now, I'll put my money here 27.10 and watch how the market goes. So if the market comes here and hits here and go, no wahala. Okay. So this is just purely support and resistance. But we
Okay.
cannot use support and
Yeah.
resistance to make a final decision in the market. I'm just doing it based on this class. Okay. Telling you that support and resistance actually tells you
I
the
get what you're
psychology.
saying. But
Yeah. So if I bring other indicators now, you see me, I'll start changing my decision. I'm telling you, okay, because it's like this, like that, we'll actually maybe we'll wait or take the risk and see how far.
so
I've not, yeah.
let me let me quickly come. Like, what are the major indicators? What are the hello?
Hello,
What are
please
the major indicators that you use? Let me just confirm that one first.
don't worry. When we reach that time, I
Hello,
will
can you
tell
hear
you
me?
everything. I will tell you everything. That one is no, I'm not putting
Uh,
any. I'll tell you the basic, like the ones that you can use and start trading.
I just want to check. I want to study it beforehand. You
Okay.
don't. I wanted to study it beforehand, so it's really new to me.
All right, no problem. Okay, let me tell you. We use money flow index. Let me bring them up, Seth. Let me bring them up so you can see them. Let me bring them out.
Wanting to
I know I use them in those this thing. In those my videos on YouTube. So, but let me show you. Money flow index. We
I
have
saw
volume.
Monflow, I saw RSI, I
Yeah,
saw some other
RSI.
things.
Yeah, volume. We have RSI. Those are just the basic ones that you can use just to start. You just start doing something first before you now
Okay.
advance yourself. Then what else again? I think MACD, very important. MACD. So these are like the
Mark.
MACD. These are the basic indicators that I use, basic level. For me, I still want to advance. I want to add
Alright.
Fibonacci. I want to add Elliott waves, all those kind of things. Technical tools to help me also be a better trader. But at the basic level, this is what will actually make you money and help you make good decisions. Okay, I've separated
I
this.
get it.
Yeah. So I forgot to add more. What do you call that? A moving average. Yeah. This is the moving average I use. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. This is a moving average I'm using. Okay. So basically volume, MFI, RSI, MACD.
Okay.
Simple. Okay. So I believe we have 9 minutes before we end this our 40 minutes class. So I've shown you the indicators, I've shown you how I draw my support and resistance. Let me just give you something very sharp with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
MACD. Let me give you something very sharp with this MACD. You can see this, sorry, not MACD, with this moving average. You can see this where this moving average is. You can see this last point. What is the price there? Let me see if I can find that price.
Yeah.
I think is wait, just give me. I think that last price is it 2703 or 2710?
0.03. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any of that one shall does not
No,
within that 20.
2703.
Okay. So it's within that range. So if it's that means people that bought now as this market will come down, people actually you see even almost corresponds with where I actually propose that people will start making their bets. Okay, almost corresponds. So if you want to have money now, you can put
Yeah.
money here. You can put money here. If it crosses down here, then expect that it rebounds here. If it doesn't rebound here, then you now take out your position. You know your stop loss. But normally banking stocks are always going up because of
Yeah.
the nature of their business. So yeah, I think that is that for today, just drawing support and resistance. Our next class, let me see. Our next class will be on candlestick patterns, where you see engulfing bull, engulfing bear candles, different morning star, doji, evening star, all those are candlestick patterns. So that's what we are going to discuss our next class.